Okay, so today I just want to go a little bit into the differences between Coursera and Udemy. So I've tried them both and I just want to go through just my experience and what I thought of the two. So I did 2 courses on Udemy and I did 1 course on Coursera, and I'm still like, I ordered another one on Coursera. And to be fair, I like the two, but I've seen some differences. So I started first with Udemy. I was interested in compliance and I was like, I want to know more about it, let me do a course on it. And so yeah, so I went on there, I did one. It was pretty straightforward. I felt very proud of it. I got a certificate at the end of it. I was like, oh, this is good. And I think as somebody who's just like graduated recently, I graduated like 2 years ago, I'm keen to learn more and figure myself out and what I'm interested in and where, like, you know, explore my passions. And I think a great way to kind of like build a portfolio and kind of just like learn as you figure yourself out is to do courses online, and not commit to a degree just yet. I would love to do masters in the future, but right now I'm just like, let me do courses online. And so yeah, so I did 2 courses on Coursera. I wasn't back to back. I did 2 courses on Udemy, and it wasn't back to back. So I did 2. I did 1 and then went to Coursera and then came back and then went back. So that's how the journey has been. So so my first course, it was good. It gave me a lot of knowledge. I think it was like 4 modules. I went through it, got the certification at the end, and then I went to Coursera, and that one, which is quite interesting because it was supplied by the University of California, so it's got that credit worthiness, you know, that status a little bit. So that was interesting. But the issue with the Coursera one that I did, it had like peer review, and so that meant so it had like 4 modules, and so when you did a module it had to get peer reviewed, and they gave you marks, so the other students gave you marks, and then you have to wait for that to be marked. You can go through all of them and still kind of wait for the result at the end. So that's the only downside of Coursera that I didn't really appreciate. Compared to Udemy, there was no peer review, just you went at it at your own pace, completed it, you know, that was that. Whereas with Coursera, the specific one that I chose had peer reviews because it was like a university provided course, and that was different. But yeah, so I remember like somebody failed me on module 3 and I was like, ooh. So I went back, had to like edit it and stuff like that, and then resubmit it, and then I finally got the pass. So once I was done with Coursera, I went back to Udemy to do another compliance related module, like a course. And this one was like a bit more like niche, I think, which is interesting. I couldn't find affordable niche courses on anywhere, to be fair, and so I did that on Udemy. Again, 4 or 5 modules at your own pace. You do it, you bang it out, and you're done. You get the certification in the end, you download it, and you kind of save it. And so so now I want to talk about like LinkedIn and which one I felt more better about presenting and as you know, and putting it on my LinkedIn, right? I didn't feel comfortable putting the Udemy one on my LinkedIn, but I did feel more comfortable about putting the Coursera one on my LinkedIn, just because the Coursera one had the University of California, you know, lending it out, and it had their logo on the certification, so I just felt like it was the better one to put on my LinkedIn. I definitely would. I can see myself putting the Udemy one on my CV, maybe potentially, but yeah, I think that's just use it as a base to study from and learn from, and then maybe put on my CV. I don't know how people do it. I don't know if I will, but yeah, that's how I see it. Okay, if I was to rate the two, which one I liked more? Okay, so based on information and speed and confidence it gives you to feel like, yes, this is the path you should go down, this is doable, and it fuels you in the right direction, I would say Udemy, right? But when it comes to that recognition, that status, that recognizability, that respect, I would say Coursera. Does that make sense? So maybe use Udemy as a base to study from and figure out if this is something you want to do, and go into more professional certifications where you have to pay loads and loads of money for. First do that, and then, you know, pay for more expensive professional certifications. Yeah, and I think Coursera, definitely you have to make the time for it. I felt like I've had to carve out time. It's just longer modules. Right now I went back to doing a course on Coursera, and it's got 6 modules in the first one, but the thing is the overall package is like nine courses that are individual, and then at the end of that you get like a professional certification. So yeah, it's a little bit longer, and it's like a monthly subscription, whereas the Udemy one, when it comes to subscription, was like a straightforward, you buy the course and you do it. With Coursera, they do offer a monthly subscription, so it's kind of more expensive, and so especially the course that I'm currently doing, it's definitely more expensive. It's like 49 USD. So you definitely have to carve out the time, and because it is longer and it is harder, I suppose, again, because there are courses on there that are professionally recognized, so yeah, it's harder, longer. So yeah, that's what I've been juggling with at the moment with the current one I'm doing. The one I'm currently doing is a data analyst one. So yeah, it's like 9 courses overall, and each has six minimum, I think, modules, or 5. So it's a little longer. But yeah, so out of the two, what boosts me and fuels me and my ego, and like that gives me those wins, those fast wins that I need, is Udemy, right? But then when I get the Coursera one and I finally get to the end, that's the one I'm putting on my LinkedIn. So that's how I see the two. I hope that was helpful. But yeah, thanks, bye.